celebrating Passover with an impactful campaign. Chabad-Lubavitch of Michigan has launched a statewide initiative to deliver over 12,000 hand-baked Shemura matzahs ahead of Passover, ensuring no Jew left behind. The effort aims to reach Jewish homes from urban centers like Detroit to rural towns, fostering unity, tradition, and inclusion. Here to tell us more is the VP and Executive Director of Chabad-Lubavitch of Michigan, Rabbi Kasriel Shemtov. Rabbi, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good to be here.
Absolutely happy to have you with us and really interested in learning about this incredible campaign. What inspired this year's No Jew Left Behind campaign, and how has the West Bloomfield community been involved in supporting or receiving it?
Well, every single year when Passover comes, we head out with a campaign to be able to reach out to our fellow Jews, be able to bring the spirit of Passover. Every Jew should feel welcome. Every Jew should feel part of it. And so many do. It's the most practiced holiday within the Jewish community. And we do that. One of the methods is by handing out the matzah, which is the centerpiece of our Seder, the handmade matzah that we eat on the two first nights of Passover. Now, in previous years, you may remember we had these mitzvah mobiles, mitzvah tanks, we call them, to bring this all over the community. Over the last few years, we've done that, and we hand out these matzahs individually to Jewish homes. And this year, there was an inspiration by some of the members of the community, some of the rabbis, that if until now we reached a few thousand members, why not go all the way and try to reach every single Jew? And I heard you mention in the opening that we reached 12,000 Jewish families. The number is now up to already 15 or 16,000.
Wow.
We're still going strong, still trying to reach as much as possible. And it's with a great spirit and enthusiasm that so many members of our community are trying to do that.
That is incredible. I love hearing that the numbers keep getting higher. And you just touched upon what a Shemura matzah is. How do you see the Shemura matzah helping local families connect with their heritage and faith during Passover?
Well, Shemura matzah means protected matzah. Spiritually, from a Jewish perspective, this matzah is called the bread of faith, and it's also called bread of healing. And when you sit down at this Seder and you have the biblical commandment of eating this very matzah, to a Jewish person, that's very important. And when we give that opportunity and that possibility for every single Jew to be able to participate with his community and celebrating his heritage and celebrating this special mitzvah, that brings people closer. It allows Jews to be able to feel connected, embraced, taken care of, and being able to celebrate the holiday of our freedom. Remember, the matzah, the commandment, the biblical commandment of matzah is that the Jewish people were enslaved in Egypt, and God took us out through our leader Moses, and they didn't have time for their bread to rise. They were taken out from Egypt in a miraculous fashion, and therefore the matzah was flat. And that's why we are given the commandment to eat the matzah every year, to remember that celebration, to remember that commandment, to remember that exodus of Egypt. So when we all do that together on the Passover night, the first two Passover nights, that is truly a great celebration, and every Jew could be able to feel part of his community and part of that message of freedom.
That's amazing. You always love hearing about stuff like that, and you hear about the importance of messages like this and what they mean for the community. How can West Bloomfield residents, Jewish or not, support or get involved with initiatives like this Matzah Mission?
Well, the first initiative is we should care about each other. And that goes to the Jewish community and every human being and every person at a time like this can be, can learn that lesson. I would like to also, before we get into that, I would like to just share another message of the matzah,
of course,
the spiritual message of the matzah. What is the difference between what we Jews eat on a Friday night, which is challah, beautiful bread, and the matzah. So as I said earlier, the matzah didn't have time to rise. Typical bread, you let it sit, you let the dough sit for a while, and it rises, and it's inflated. And in many cases, it's tastier. The matzah is flat. It's flour and water. It had no time to rise, so it's like a cracker. So what is the difference? So spiritually, we're told that each one of us, we are blessed with many characteristics given to us by God, and one of them is that we have an ego. And sometimes it's an inflated ego. And when we have an inflated ego, sometimes we think more about ourselves than our fellow human being. We think more about ourselves than we think about God, the creator of the universe. When we have matzah, which is not inflated, that represents us with humility. And when a person has humility, we realize it's not all about me. It's not all my achievement. I was given these blessings by God, and therefore I was able to do what I do. And therefore I have to try to connect with what God has to offer me. And I also have to look at another human being and try to embrace him. So when it comes to Pesach, we say, to Passover, we say, how do you go free? How do you go free from your limitations? By being more humble, by being more the matzah, which is not inflated. And that is a message that all of us can participate in. Because if we can all find that humility, we can go free. We don't have to be shackled by our own limitations. We can allow ourselves to go free and embrace each other and accomplish so much more. In terms of, on a practical level, with this campaign, as you have asked, I would suggest every single Jew to see if they have any friends and be able to invite them for a Seder, be able to invite them to participate in the holiday. As Chabad, we have a website, chabadmi.com. If there's anyone that doesn't have a place for a Seder or needs the matzah or any other of the needs of the Passover holiday, please let us know and we can find a way to help out. And to the general community, this is a wonderful time to be able to celebrate with each other the message of freedom, which is a message dear to the hearts of every American and every one of us, and the message of humility, to be able to think about each other, not only about ourselves.
Very well said. For those just joining us on the Splash Live, we have Rabbi Kasriel Shemtov, the Executive Director of Chabad-Lubavitch, joining us right now on the Splash Live to talk about the incredible Matzah Mission that is currently being taken place and has provided, I believe you said 16,000 matzah meals to people at this point. I mean, that is just
correct.
Incredible.
16,000 packages with a handmade matzah. I would like to show you one, if you don't mind.
Of course.
The package looks like this, which is a box of handmade matzah. It also has a little bit of wine as a message of the 4 cups of wine that we drink by the Seder. And a handmade matzah looks like this.
Ooh.
This was made handmade, not machine. They put together flour and water, put it into an oven, and it was all created within 18 minutes. Very quick process, because you don't give it time to rise.
Right.
It's actually takes a lot of effort, and it's expensive, this matzah. And by us sending this out, it's really a message of to each and every one to be able to have this mitzvah of matzah, and also, if there's a need for more help, to be able to reach out for more help.
That's exactly right. Rabbi, we are running short on time. I'd love to get so much more information about this, but I am just going to ask one more question. In your experience, what impact does a small gesture like the delivery of a single piece of matzah have on someone spiritually or emotionally in our community?
I personally received a few calls of individuals who I'd never met before. And they say, I came home and I see this package. Is this real? Is this from you? This is amazing. How did you know where I live? I feel so connected. And I asked them, do you have a place for your Seder? And they said no. And I immediately told them about a Seder and connected them with a local Chabad center for them to be able to appreciate it. So this reaching out and touching an individual, and each one of us can do that in so many ways, is truly impactful.
Absolutely, it certainly is, and we appreciate everything that you do for the community and everything that you have done with this mission. Rabbi Shemtov, thank you so much for joining us today, this morning on The Splash Live.
Thank you very much. May everyone be blessed with a kosher and happy Passover.